In this video I'm going to show you the deadliest trap strategy against the South American player, the strategy in which you and your ally clear out all the South American player's troops outside South America, and then one of you puts your biggest army in the territory of Central America while another one in the territory of North Africa, so the South American player becomes completely trapped, and then you and your ally just simply start weakening him, either by using manual rolls or just simply crushing some troops into him. So make sure to stick to the end because the end game of this game is going to be awesome. This is another Risk Global Domination 4-player fixed card game which is being played with my subscribers. All of them are Grandmaster rank players, so it's definitely supposed to be a tough challenge. The line player got so unlucky with the red player moving into South America. The line player added his troops into South America first, but unfortunately for him, the red player had quite more troops around it. So the red player got the advantage over the line player when it comes to capturing South America, so by seeing that the line player was considering to add some troops into Australia, or the continent which I am going for, but at the end after all he decided to put the troops into North America, and that is so good for me because with the blue player going for Africa, Australia is definitely going to belong to me. I was a little bit scared, but after all everything is good because the line player didn't add his troops into Australia. On the other hand though, the line player has a lot of troops near to it in Asia after moving them out from Africa, so actually I'm not that totally sure if the line player's plans to go for Australia have completely gone. But maybe he just simply moved his troops out from Africa so the blue player wouldn't crush them. And talking about the blue player, he is the only one who sent the alliance request to me. So I think he will be the one which I am going to team up with on other players, well at least until the 3-player situation when the balance of the game very important, because one bigger mistake towards it could give the game for another player, so if your ally starts becoming so much stronger than you, then you just shouldn't let him simply dominate the game. Anyways, I think this time I'm actually very glad that only one player sent the alliance request to me instead of all of them. As if everyone has sent it to me, then I would have had to decide which ally to betray. But now since the lime and red players are not allied with me, I won't feel that bad to attack them. Well, this game is about a war and a lot of attacks, but I mean still. So anyways, for now I'm targeting and will continue targeting the lime and red players, and it will be really up to the blue player to decide which player he wants to target more and eliminate first. Or I mean we could even target both of them at once. Each of these 3 possibilities work for me well. I'm in Australia so I'm totally guaranteed to hold it with it only having one border and with me already being stronger than lime and red. So I will just see what the blue player wants to do. I mean the red player isn't really guarding South America from him well, so the blue player could easily invade it if he wants. But since the blue player doesn't add a lot of troops to the red player's border either, I think they could potentially be allies, but who knows. In any case that doesn't really matter because the blue player doesn't capture the territories of mine while I don't capture the territories of blue. So I think we have the strongest alliance in this game. I have no idea what are the alliance's status among other players, but I mean that's obvious that they're not in such good terms as me and blue. The line player seems to be mostly neutral without really helping or hurting anyone, while the red and blue players, even though don't that much guard their borders, they still keep capturing a bunch of each other territories in North America. I'm not that sure what's up with North America of why the blue player has his troops here instead of crushing them into red or lime. Or instead of adding them here, using to invade the red player into South America from Africa. But maybe he just wants to attack the red player's territories back and forth so the line player would feel more safe about not getting eliminated first, so the line player wouldn't consider invading him into Africa, as Africa is obviously the hardest continent to hold from all the 3 small continents. Alright, it seems the blue player decided to manual roll the line player like I just did. And to be honest, it probably makes the most sense to target the line player if the blue player doesn't want to invade red into South America. The line player isn't really doing anything, he is just simply zero carding, so actually it won't be easier for us to get rid of him. The line player probably thought that we will leave him alone if he doesn't do anything, but I mean this is a subscribers game where we all aware of the turtling tactics, so it doesn't really going to work out. I mean it could work out in a 3-player situation, but in a 4-player situation we just want to get rid of the 4th player as soon as possible, as he is not really needed for the balance of the game to be sustained. So with the line player not even getting cards, it makes our job so much easier. To be honest, I really wanted that I and blue would have targeted both of our opponents at once, but with the blue player neither invading red from Africa nor moving his 10 troops army out from the territory of Alaska, I cannot really access the red player with the line player additionally blocking the 3rd entry point to accessing the red player for me as well. So with the red player not being accessible for me anymore and the blue player being my ally, it just made the most sense for me to start manual rolling the line player, assuming I didn't want to start attacking blue. The red player has just sent the alliance request, and after all I decided to accept it. But really more because of the communication purposes rather than wanting to team up with him on blue after the line player is eliminated. So actually I'm not that sure if it was a great idea to accept his alliance request. I mean on one hand it can be good because he might not try teaming up with blue since I accepted it, but on the other hand if I'm still going to decide to attack him, then it will make him trust me less. My and the blue player's alliance from the beginning of the game has established well, so I wouldn't really like to suddenly change the fronts if it's not needed. I mean after all the red player is the weakest, meaning that I would have to attack the blue player much more to get to the red player troops level. And after all the red player could still decide to change his front, and with the blue player being not happy that I betrayed him, it could go very wrong for me. They could potentially decide to use the deadliest trap strategy against the Australian player, by red capturing both of the Americas and blue Africa plus Europe, making me trapped in Australia. So after all I think it's better for me to stick in the alliance with the blue player. If he continues attacking red, the blue player is stronger than me, so he is supposed to attack the red player more right now than me. But in any case I just wanted to give a chance for the red player too, so in this turn I just moved my 2nd biggest army into North America without attacking him, to see if there's anything he could do to change my mind, making me start to attacking blue. But to be honest I really doubt there's something, so unless I will have to betray the blue player for the balance of the game purposes. And actually it's so great that the red player just fortified all of his troops into Brazil. Now we could make him so easily trapped in South America. I think it's more efficient to team up with another strong player on the weakest player, letting each other hold a lot of stuff and then trying to outsmart that another strong player, rather than to start attacking that another strong player, so the weakest player would get back to our troops level and be as decent opponent as us. The blue player made his armies trapped while I have my Australian army unleashed, so I think I have much higher chances to successfully outsmart him than he has me. Well, actually I predicted that the blue player will capture Europe instead of invading me into North America, but I mean that's fine if his still main focus will stay on weakening red rather than to start paying the attention to me. So I'm not sure yet, but we will see. I've just fortified some troops from my Australian army next to red, so the red player couldn't just simply get out of this situation by crushing my troops. Let's see what the blue player actually does. He seems to join me manual rolling the red player as well. And I'm really happy about that. I'm not sure how the game will continue to go, but I think I will just keep waiting for a perfect opportunity to betray him and take the game into my hands. It's kinda bad for me that the blue player fortified these African troops to Europe rather than keeping the majority of them blocked, but I mean the best thing is that he didn't capture Europe. I want to be the first one to capture a big continent, so I would be supposed to have the advantage over him. As if I capture North America and successfully hold it, then I can just simply invade blue into Europe, so he would end up not receiving these bonus troops. And then with me properly guarding and his armies being blocked, I would be able to hold North America for one more turn. It's a good thing that the blue player's turn is after mine, meaning that the red player couldn't just immediately move his army out from Venezuela, giving the blue player a path to attack me. The red player's army is actually going to work out as a shield against blue for a turn. So what I'm trying to do right now is trying to bait the blue player of letting me hold North America. In the beginning of the turn I pointed out to Europe saying to attack my territory if you need to, indicating that he would capture Europe while would let me hold North America. And if he actually does that, then I'm going to immediately betray him, as the red player being so weak isn't an issue for me anymore. So all that I need to win the game is just to get 17 troops advantage over blue. So that I'm just hoping that after capturing Europe, he is going to fortify that European army to Brazil instead of leaving it on Ukraine. So yeah, but wait, the blue player has something else in mind. The least thing I expected is for the blue player to take the red player out right now, but I mean it's so much better. With the blue player taking out red, now I can just simply go all in destroying him without even being afraid of a potential comeback. I believe the blue player really miscalculated here or didn't take into the account all of the important details besides the troop counter alone. Look guys, I'm losing no troops capturing these territories of ones. What can you learn from that is that one big army has a huge advantage against the same number of troops distributed in a bunch of territories made of ones, and in case I'm lucky enough, I might be able to completely take him out. But either way I think I won anyways, the advantage is just too huge. So yeah, it's a GG.